Welcome back to 20 Years of Billing Lessons. Today's lesson is about personal injury cases missing a letter of protection or other required documentation. After more than 20 years in chiropractic billing, I've learned that personal injury cases can sit for months while everyone assumes the paperwork is complete. And sometimes it isn't. Personal injury billing isn't the same as working a routine insurance claim. There are simply more moving parts and far more people involved in getting one case paid. There can also be letters of protection when they apply, records requests, and other case-specific documentation. That means there are a lot more places for one missing piece to hide. The problem usually isn't that someone intentionally ignored the case, it's assumptions. Someone believes the records were already sent, someone assumes the attorney has everything, and everyone is fairly sure a letter of protection is sitting in the file, but nobody has actually confirmed it. Someone already requested that. Those are exactly the cases I want to identify before months go by. When I'm reviewing a personal injury case, I want to know exactly what we have and what we're still waiting for. Is an attorney involved, and do we have their correct information? Is a letter of protection being used here? And if it is, has anyone confirmed we actually received it? Are we still waiting on records or other documentation? Is there anything the patient still needs to send us, or anything the carrier still owes us? I don't want to hear, "I think so." I want to know. Let's talk specifically about letters of protection. Not every personal injury case is handled the same way, and one isn't automatically required on every case that comes through your office. But when an office is relying on a letter of protection as part of the arrangement, that document has to be tracked. If you're expecting one and don't have it, the case shouldn't quietly continue for months with nobody following up. Someone needs to own that next step. The same is true for everything else the case needs. If you're waiting on documentation from anyone outside your office, don't just write "waiting on documents" and move on. Write down what you're waiting for. Write down when you requested it, and write down who is responsible for chasing it. That's what turns a note into an actual workflow. And here's the part that matters. Sending a request doesn't mean the task is finished. If the documentation doesn't arrive, follow up. If you still don't have it, follow up again. If the person you're contacting can't resolve it, find out who can. Personal injury cases can stay open for a very long time. That's exactly why they need consistent follow-up. This comes back to the same two questions you've heard throughout this series. What is this case waiting on? And who owns the next step? If the answer to either question isn't clear, that's where things start falling through the cracks. This is why I track personal injury cases separately in my workflow. I want to see at a glance which cases are still missing a letter of protection when one is expected. I want to see which cases are waiting on documentation and what the next action is on each one. Because I don't want to discover 6 months later that something we needed was never received. The biggest lesson I've learned about personal injury billing is this: long cases still need short follow-up cycles. A case may remain open for months. That doesn't mean your follow-up should. Know what's missing, know who you're waiting on, and know who owns the next step so the case keeps moving. If you'd like to see the workflows I've built from more than 20 years of chiropractic billing experience, you can explore the interactive demos at jrcbillingtools.com. They're built around the same principle I use every day. Know what's missing, know what happens next, and know who owns it. Better workflows create better collections. I'll see you in the next 20 years of billing lesson.